Welcome back to another Observability Lab. In the previous one, we talked about what is business observability with Dynatrace. Now we want to talk about how to actually ingest business events. And for a recap, first of all, the video to the previous recording is in the description of this video, so check it out. We talked about the value that Dynatrace provides to business, understanding your business. And Klaus, you also showed last time some of the demos on the Playground tenant, dashboards, business flow, really cool demo. Folks, the link to the Playground is also in this video in the description. But now, Klaus, what I'm really interested in is I want to understand how we can extract business data, business events from something that the OneAgent captures, from mobile, from API, from logs, from open telemetry. So we want to dive into the different things and actually see how this works.
Yep. Happy to be here again and talk you through some of these capture mechanisms. In general, we have to say basically the capture mechanism depends on where and what system you are running on. But starting the open pipeline that we see here, everything is being treated the same way.
Okay.
So there is no difference, and the analytics that you can do on top of it is then always the same. It's just depending on the system, you have different mechanisms. And I want to dive with you in as many possible ways and start with the one that is key to all our core customers today. And OneAgent is something that is out there, hundreds of thousands of them. And I think it is beautiful because it brings a couple of advantages. It brings the advantage of I don't need to change source code in order to bring the data point to the Dynatrace system. It's really just a configuration change.
Cool. Then I would say step number one, how to get business events from something that the OneAgent collects.
Let's take a look. Let's jump right away into the UI. I have here a demo system where I actually have admin privileges, so I can show you how to change some of the settings. A good starting point for everyone is the Explore BizEvents app.
Okay.
If you go there, all it does initial check for you. Are you already getting some BizEvents? If you don't have permissions to read business events, it will also tell you right away here. And we spoke about the playgrounds via this link here. You can also get very quickly to the playground.
Cool.
And then for the different ways of configuring Dynatrace, we have here right away the link. So we have here OneAgent as the first chapter. So we want to see what this link, if I can click
Here
it.
we go. Sometimes it's hard to click.
Yeah, I don't know what. It allows us to go to capture BizEvents. We can capture BizEvents on either incoming or outgoing web requests, two very different use cases. Incoming is usually where you are providing an API where people are requesting data from you, maybe the website, maybe the mobile app. But when you think about travel industry, for example, they are making more business through so-called aggregator websites like a TripAdvisor and similar. For those APIs, you will not be able to get any real user information. But on those web requests that you are getting from there, it's very simple to get to this information, to know whether you are hitting your SLAs, and all of that information you can grab from there. It's beautiful. And outgoing, on the other hand, that's where you are talking to third parties. Think about your payment process if you're a retailer. That's where you're reaching out to PayPal, Klarna, and whatnot system. There you have now the ability to work with outgoing web requests. They work from a configuration point of view pretty equal. I'm going with incoming for now, and let's take a look at the configuration, what it takes. When I add a new capture rule, I'm being asked for a new name. I simply call it Klaus Clinic, and that's the name. That's the name that shows up here in the summary. So take something meaningful that may help your colleagues as well. And then the question is, when should our OneAgent start capturing things? So there are triggers that you can define. Trigger can be everything from this request. So you can use whatever is on there. A request parameter. Let's say you want to capture marketing campaigns, and you know that it is this UTM underscore campaign parameter, you could go with that.
Cool.
If there is something in a request or response body, this is the beauty of capturing BizEvents. You can go into the request and the response body, unveiling business exceptions there. Going back to payment, it is totally valid technically to bring back the message that you are out of funds on your credit card, and that's why the payment gets declined. From a business perspective, this is a bad situation that you're in because customer cannot transact. That is usually an information that technical solution, observability solutions are not looking at.
Yeah.
But we have now with the BizEvents the ability to dive into this and retrieve the key information from this request body.
Yeah. And I also really like I think just worth to mention, we're capturing this 100% of the time. That means typically with observability we sample because for multiple reasons. In this case, this is 100% capture rate of this particular information. That's good. Yeah.
Exactly. So we go very simple and say like, hey, I want to have a request path, and if this API that starts with /API /Klaus, if the OneAgent sees an incoming web request against exactly this URL part, it can be something else afterwards, it will trigger the creation of this business event.
Cool.
After that, you have to fill it, now that we created it, we have to fill it with life. Filling with life means at least putting an event provider and an event type in here. Very critical because later on you want to use it. Very frequently people are using here fixed value, so it's a hard value that you once define and use for every BizEvent that you create there, or you go back and just use things from the request itself, so having dynamic field options here.
The provider in this case could be the Klaus critical service, right? Something like this, Klaus business service.
I would basically go with com.klaus.api because that's what we are looking at with our request. And then maybe com.klaus.api.book because we are just looking into the booking call here. Could be of interest. Event category, a thing when you are talking about APIs, I've seen very commonly people are just using the request path here. So as it is needed very frequently. But that's not it. That's where then you can continue adding additional data fields. And let's say we have there a booking value field that we want to retrieve from the request body or from the response body. We can do that, and we allow you to actually look in the body and be very selective in what you capture. So if there is a JSON or XML file request, we allow you to
parse it even. And
to parse.
Okay, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah. So we go with let's say order.booking or .value is our JSON selector.
Cool. So that means I don't even have to deal about whether it's JSON or XML. We just parse it, and then we give you direct access to all the fields.
Exactly.
Wow, that's cool.
And that's how I can fill my event with life.
Yeah.
Start small, start simple, start in pre-production.
Cool.
It is a really important thing because as you have access to a full request body, you want to be sure that you capture what you actually want and don't capture stuff that you don't need.
So cool. So recapping means with this way we can ask the OneAgent instrument my incoming or outgoing web requests, and then for certain type of requests you can specify then trigger and extract particular pieces of information from the request headers, the URL, bodies, request and response actually, and then out of this create and store a business event from a particular provider, from a particular category and type, and then put everything together. That's awesome. Wow. Cool.
That's cool. I'm going to discard these changes, and we have here already a couple of those defined. And what we are going to do is we are going to take a look at the data that is coming in from this particular one. And now you will see why it's so important to use these fields. So event type is something that I then can go back into the notebook and basically say fetch this event, filter for this particular event type. Was there something happening in the last 2 hours? Did I get there something? I only had one particular request here.
Cool.
But that's where we can see how easy it is, and the beauty of it is it all happens just because of configuration. There is no need to change source code. And actually an interesting customer case I want to tell to the end here. It was about compliance. Compliance, a question. There was a payment provider who had the question, how can I make sure that I actually received the request? I was like, you see that? I mean, you're seeing that in the logs. And he's like, yeah, but the log line, one of my engineers had to add. So that could be that there is actually other source code running ahead of the log line, doing with the request something, and getting me from a compliance perspective in trouble.
Okay, because we are capturing it obviously when the request comes into your service.
Right, and in our case with the OneAgent, there is no custom source code ahead of it. There is no way how engineers could change it. That's basically we are capturing here and closing this gap with that capture.
Cool. And last thing I see here, because if you look at the result on this table, there's also a trace parent. So that means when you're capturing business events from a service that is instrumented, and you also have tracing turned on, we capture a trace, we even have the context to the trace ID, which means we can even drill from a business event to the distributed trace. Awesome. So I think, Klaus, this was use case number one. How to configure Dynatrace to have the OneAgent capture a business event from an incoming or outgoing request.
Yeah.
Awesome. I would say let's go back.
Let's go back to the next. So OneAgent we just covered.
I would say the next one, web and mobile run. So if I have a web application or a mobile application and I want to also capture not web requests, business events from there, how would I do this with Dynatrace?
Very simple again. Let me jump back here into my demo. We can start over again in our Explore Business Events app. And if we basically go down the list here, RAM API. There is a full documentation available that is helping you understand how to get BizEvents from real user monitoring. As you can see, Dynatrace supports a great variety of real user endpoint technologies that you want to potentially dive into. Whenever you click one of these, you're getting in the respective language the right way how you can implement it. So it's always the same principle. You construct a JSON object that you are then basically handing over with, depending on the syntax, a send BizEvent request that has only two parameters. The first parameter is the event type, and the second parameter is actually the payload.
Makes a lot of sense.
What are you doing there? And the way how you can do that, I have here, I'm using here our own website for this. What I can do is in the Web Developer Toolkit, I can basically on every page that is implemented, I can just do a test and say, hey, send this event, and all I do is I hand over, in this case, actually an empty object. If I hit enter, It gets sent off using all the existing agent transport mechanisms to bring it to Dynatrace and store it in Grail.
Yeah, it's an easy way to test it actually. Yeah, it's a very easy way to test
Very
it.
easy way to test if what you are trying to achieve is going to work.
Cool. So that means for mobile and RAM, for web and mobile, I have an API where I can make a call and say, Dynatrace, this is a BizEvent, and like we saw earlier with the OneAgent, 100% capturing of this business data.
Right.
Exactly.
And what we have to, the enrichment though is a different one. There is then the RAM session ID on there instead of a host ID or a trace parent.
Yeah.
That's how we can actually later on link things together.
Cool. Awesome. What else do we have? Let's go back and see.
There is more to look at.
Perfect. All right, and we are back. So we just saw how to configure OneAgent and web and mobile RAM to extract business events. Now I know, Klaus, you really like logs because logs is a signal that has been there forever. Developers have been writing logs. We get a lot of logs from requests, from all sorts of systems. Now I want to see how we can configure the open pipeline to extract business events from logs.
Exactly. This time, logs are coming to Dynatrace most of the cases in any way. So people are bringing that already to the system. Now it's more about identifying those log lines that contain business critical data. What we are doing there is we are using our open pipeline. Open pipeline, basically a gatekeeper before we store the data. We're taking a look how open pipeline is going to extract the data.
Cool, let's do this.
And the beauty is we start here on our start screen and we go into settings, and open pipeline configuration can be accessed via process and contextualize. There is this big item open pipeline. Since the original data type is actually logs, we want to take a look at what is happening from a logs perspective.
Cool.
And we can configure here the ingest sources. You see, basically this is how it comes to Dynatrace. Then we have some routing for the information, and we have already established here one thing where it's like every log line, no matter which ingest endpoint is sending it to us, we want to extract it for business event extraction. So we basically look at, in this case, no journey found for destination. So our easy travel booking system is always searching for journeys. And if there is a search term where we couldn't find any trips, it's basically saying, hey, we need that data point. And we want to extract it and send it over to our extract business pipeline.
Cool.
Thank you. And taking a look at the pipeline itself, we can basically also configure that one. We have there a processing step where we can do obfuscation of the data. We don't want to dive into that one today. Then we have our data extraction stage where we actually can define which log line now is actually going to be a business event. And we basically do the simple matcher here again for our no journey found. We basically define as needed an event type, an event provider, and we also can be very specific about which fields of the log line we want to carry over, or in our case, we just say like, hey, every data point that is coming in, take it over and store it as a business event.
Cool. So that means, however we are sending logs to Dynatrace, the OneAgent, open telemetry, any type of log that goes into open pipeline, we can say if the log matches a certain criteria, it has a certain content, it has a certain field, then we want to extract this particular log line and kind of convert it into a business event, where we can say, take all the fields, take some of the fields. That's awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what happens is in the pipeline itself, discarding here the changes, it's then forwarding this log line into the business event specific pipeline. So there is the same settings as we have just seen it from logs. We are having here the ability to treat and massage business events no matter where they are coming from. We
Cool.
spoke before about OneAgent, RUM. Now we are talking about those coming in from data extraction. And again, I have here my pipeline, and I can actually take a look at those specifically, or we can actually look at the log line coming in. And what I do there is, I told you before, it's a search job that is part of the log line's content. And what I'm doing here is I simply extract out of the whole text message that is there for later on, for the convenience of analysis, the city, so that business analysts have an easy life dealing with the data. So adding
cool.
those insights.
So that means what you just tell me is that we are actually chaining pipelines together. So logs are coming in, we are detecting that this log should be converted into a BizEvent. So we are taking the log, converting it into a BizEvent, and then every BizEvent, however it comes in, we can then push again through a business event pipeline to normalize, to extract, to mask, to define, I guess, storage, security context, and all that stuff that we have. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. I did not know that. I learned something new.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. Yeah, like you said, metric extraction, writing down metrics, eventually defining permissions, and finally, how long do you want to store it is always a thing. Do I need this data point just short, 35 days, or a year, 2, 5 years for analysis? That's how we want to, up to you, depending on your use case.
Yeah, cool. So Klaus, I think we have seen, if we maybe quickly can go back to the PowerPoint slide. So Klaus, thank you so much. We've seen a lot of ways how to extract business events from different types of data, from the OneAgent, from web and mobile RAM, from logs, whether they come in from OpenTelemetry or other ways. Folks, you can also, the stuff that we saw on Open Pipeline do with spans, but I think there's one more thing, something around APIs, something around workflows that I'm really intrigued for.
Yeah. Sometimes you have this use case where it's like, a lot of interesting data is coming to Dynatrace, but you're not only operating in the European Union where everything is in euros, but you're also working with the US and you're having revenue in USD, different currencies. How do I bring in, basically in a timely manner, changes in exchange rates so that I can get to an overall global revenue, maybe then in USD or in euros? And for such use cases, we have just launched a new workflow action.
Okay.
And let's take a look at how you can use that to get exactly that use case done. So I have already prepared a workflow here that is doing ingestion of the currency on a regular basis. So this is a workflow, and there are many videos on workflows out there. This is one that is running on a schedule once a day, at 1 p.m. It kicks in and does the following things. It first goes off to a third-party system via this request here and goes off to exchange rate API and requests a list of currency conversions with a base currency. So the base currency, as we operate out of Europe, is euros. And you see, basically, we are getting it for all the other currencies. The one that we are interested in is far down here, somewhere we have also USD as an exchange rate. And now that we are getting this result here from get exchange rates, we are adding here another step. There is new workflow actions available for ingesting BizEvents, and all we do is we put an event provider type and category in there, and here in the payload we are actually looking at just the USD part.
Cool.
So where we are extracting here, again via JSON selector, this is the field that is of interest to us. And as we are running this thing here, we are actually then getting quickly, like this is the event that we are sending to the Dynatrace REST API.
That's cool. So that means for any type of external API that I have that provides me some critical data, I can now also use a workflow that pulls this data in and then stores it as a business event. That's awesome.
That is how it works, and yeah, we can see
Here we go. Yeah.
here is our new result, and we know now and can in queries use now this conversion euro to USD to unify revenue.
Yeah. And I think in general, I think that's a great it's a great example, but I'm sure there's many other different third-party APIs or some APIs that you internally have that provide business context, business events, and then you can now easily ingest it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Maybe back to the slides. So to wrap up, folks, we have seen not only what is business observability with Dynatrace in video 1, but now also we walk through all of the different ways on how you can make Dynatrace extract business value from your logs, your traces, your real user data, from an external API. You can push it to it. So really cool, and thank you so much for doing this and for enlightening us that the investment that organizations do in observability can and has to elevate all the way up to the business. Yeah,
It's very simple. Do more with less.
do more with less. Thank you. Thank you so much, and folks, see you soon. Bye.